Mike Littlehills is our next presenter, and he's going to talk to you about the one thing that has the greatest impact on your health: sleep.
Lots of myths and misunderstandings, get your 8 hours, see you tomorrow. One of the major health pillars, very much the third or fourth health pillar.
They're a little bit hesitant to make changes. There's so many things that are happening in our lives right now that are beyond our control.
One of the leading contributing causes of death and disability in industrialized countries is high blood pressure and its consequences, the heart attacks, the strokes.
If I have anything, I try 3 days of fasting. And if it doesn't get better, I consider a treatment.
Practical demonstration of what I want to share with you today, which is breath work.
Probably around, I would estimate me to be around 16 years old. And my mother had psoriasis, just a small amount on her elbows.
Helps with inflammation. It helps with there's so many medical benefits associated with cold exposure.
We're going to begin with the first element, which is water.
Today we're going to talk about memory. It's a very hot topic, and I am very passionate about helping people improve their memory and age healthfully, cognitively, physically, and socially.
Okay, so welcome. So here is Relax with Adam. Adam turned to meditation when his Manhattan-based advertising agency and the associated responsibilities were growing beyond what coffee and happy hour could handle. Lifelong asthma, seasonal allergies, migraines, and other everyday issues vanished in mere months after only a few years. The profound depression from childhood trauma that Adam was experiencing began to dissolve and disappear, as well as he continued to practice yoga. During more than a decade of exploration, Adam has studied and has been trained by many incredible individuals, including several world champions of various martial arts, 2 grandmasters of the Shaolin Temple, practitioners of the Medicineless Hospital, and a vast number of both well-known and never heard of spiritual teachers. Welcome, Adam.
Hi, Anne, and thank you so much for inviting me.
All right, so very excited to have you here to talk to us about the benefits of meditation, what the meditation is all about, and lead us through some meditation. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. You can share your screen. If you want to make sure that works, you can go ahead and do that, or we'll just go ahead and let you.
Is my slide backwards? Can you hear me? So, Anne, if you can hear me, just let me know if my slide is backwards or forwards. All right.
Sorry, it's forward. It's fine. I have to be able to give you the full screen, I have to mute myself. I apologize.
Okay. Great. So, all right. Well, technical difficulties are a pretty interesting thing, and being late for an important appearance and not wanting to let somebody down, my friend Anne, I apologize sincerely. There's this crazy windstorm here, and although this might sound like an excuse, the whole internet went out, and I had to reset everything. So these are the kinds of things that can go on in everyday life and make for a very stressful, very challenging, very uncomfortable, very tense, very anxiety-ridden, panicky kind of frenzy. And I think it's actually fortuitous for us all that this is a place where we start. Late, technical difficulties, feeling panicked, feeling embarrassed. All of these things are triggers for negative behavior patterns that, if left unchecked, could spiral out of control. And I could You could imagine potentially that I might be a sobbing mess here right now with you, given that all of these things went wrong all at the last minute. And I'd like to begin by regaining my composure and talking about the difference between coping mechanisms, relaxation techniques, and meditation. Because as a meditation teacher, and the way that I've been trained is to help you remember to meditate. And the reason I say remember is because you already do it. It's something that you might not have a formal practice of, but we all have ways that we allow our mind to unwind so that we can get into our bodies and feel the presence of being here in this present moment. And some of those are coping mechanisms. Some of those are relaxation techniques. And oftentimes you may be meditating without actually knowing it. And I would argue that walking and bicycling, swimming, working in the garden, working under your car, even singing and dancing can be forms of meditation. And anything that unhooks you from the tendency to always have forward momentum and to have a pause and a moment of reflection and to actually spend time with oneself, to sit and be, or to allow those amazing thoughts that seem to spring up out of nowhere when you're just engaged in the activity of existing with yourself in your primary relationship. So for those of you who have a bit of an experience of what I mean, if you can back test this and say, yeah, you know what, maybe I was meditating in these instances. Well, what I'm here to help you do is get the two things that you need to have meditation be part of your lifestyle rather than something that is just occurring naturally that maybe you weren't particularly aware of. And the first thing is knowing the different choreographies and the poetry that will help you to access a meditative state. And I give those four categories. There's what to think and how to think it. And there's what to feel and how you move so that you can feel it. And these four categories generally cover the whole range of various different types of meditation, whether they be mindfulness or breath work or yoga based or any of the various flavors of meditation. They all want to help give you techniques, give you choreographies, give you poetry, so that when you go to be with yourself, that you can manage the anxiety and the tension that arises from turning your focus inward, because there's so much going on externally that when that focus turns inward, there needs to be a series of layers with which we go through to connect and to settle our minds and to settle into our bodies. And the second thing that I hope to give you is the right environment. If you've ever heard that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, well, if you spend some more time with me, or if you seek out a meditation teacher or a personal trainer or a transformational coach or any of the touch points that access meditation, whether they be physical therapies, whether they be trauma therapies, whether they be psychotherapies, whether they be personal training, fitness, all of these things, they give you an environment where your peers, the people that you spend time with, have a meditation practice themselves, which means that you're likely to meditate more often because that's what your group of friends are talking about. And so let's start with, why are we going to meditate anyway? And I have one really good reason for you, and that reason is sleep. Who here has wished that they could wake up every day feeling totally rejuvenated and feeling as if they've slept the full 8 hours, whether they have or they haven't? And for those of you who are sleeping more than 8 hours, wouldn't it be nice to reclaim more of your day and feel energized and feel alive and present within it? Meditation will help you sleep better, and that is a function of brainwave science. So let's talk about the science behind the way the brain functions. And the 5 major brainwave categories are beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma. Now, this first category of beta has 2 modes. There's high beta and there's normal beta. So high beta is this frenzy panic that I was talking about earlier. Like, the internet went down. I was late. I couldn't get my stuff working. I was really embarrassed, and I was having trouble regaining my composure. And the way to, and you saw me do it briefly, but the way to unhook from that overwhelming negative emotion is to simply bring the shoulders up to the ears and let out a deep sigh. So why don't you try that with me? And the more that you commit to the like a fresh glass of lemonade, the faster you'll be able to unhook and get back to your normal everyday beta brainwave state, which is actually multitasking mode. It's how we do just about everything. And when you're in beta most of the day, got this going on, that going on, driving to work, getting to work, interacting with your family, all of these things are happening in a frequency pattern that's relatively fast, beta. But what if we were to slow it down? And this is what you do when you want to get into alpha. When you want to get into single focus mode to get things done, you naturally find yourself in an alpha brainwave state. But a lot of times we have trouble making the transition. And so, whereas the shoulders to the ears with the sigh is a change of state, it's a coping mechanism, the exercise that we're about to do is called square breathing. This is a relaxation technique as an introduction. So this introduction to square breathing will help you to shift your brainwave state from beta, which we're in now, and into alpha. And so this is something that you're actually going to feel. And if you're ready to join in with me and try it, it's actually very simple. And if you look it up on Google, to be honest, you'll find that it's actually meditation for children. So it's totally safe. It's practiced worldwide, and it's really the place we start when we're teaching meditation. So what I'd like you to do is just tune into your own breath, inhaling and exhaling naturally. Just notice that your chest is rising and falling. Yeah. And then see if you're not too congested. Are you able to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth? And just keep that rhythm for a moment. As you look around the room and try to find the brightest color that's not a light. So as long as it's just a solid color, and I've got mine, and tune into that color as you close your eyes and breathe into my count. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, last time, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And so gently open your eyes and turn immediately back to that color and see if you notice anything different about that color. And perhaps you can hear the difference in the tone of my voice. And perhaps you can have a different experience, your perspective of reality in your body in this moment. And so square breathing, in, hold, out, hold, is something we just did for 10 breaths at 4 seconds per side, 160 seconds, only about 2.5 minutes. And yet, to feel this way so quickly means that this is a natural function of your brainwave state to be in single focus alpha brainwaves. And so why is this helpful? Well, as Anne was telling you in my bio, I was running a successful agency in Manhattan, and things in my life were going well, so on paper, but my health wasn't all that, and my responsibilities were increasing to the point where I needed to turn to something, and it was coffee and happy hour. And somehow along the way, these teachings found me, and I became a productivity ninja. I learned how to access this state, single focus, task-oriented, get things done mode, and I was able to apply myself and turn this on at will and get things done. And now you can too, and with a little bit of practice, this is what will be available to you. So let me explain a little bit further how this actually works. And so those are the And so when we were in a pre-agricultural state, in the hunter-gatherer times, literally anything could result in sudden death. Picking the wrong berry was a easy way to die. And so there's actually a built-in mechanism within ourselves, and this is something that exists within all of us as human beings, that actually demotivates us. Because if you were motivated to do anything, everything, it could get you killed quite quickly. And so if you've ever struggled with procrastination, and if you've ever struggled with trying to find a way to get focused and get things done, realize that actually you're fighting your own biology, because there's a part of you that wants you to conserve your energy, be cautious, and avoid any danger. And so the way that we get motivated is to take action first. And you can see from the chart, by taking action, we can get the reward, which is the feeling in the body of motivation, of being motivated. And then by getting the reward, we feel motivated. So and I have to be honest, I'm still, my composure is still a little bit out of whack from all of the frenzy and scrambling. So so I use my own coping mechanism in this moment. To bring myself back into a place of presence and a place of support and comfort that I give myself so that I can connect with you and provide for you what I'm here to provide. So the antidote to the procrastination frenzy is to utilize square breathing, to utilize a meditation technique, a relaxation technique, so that you can switch your brainwave state at will from beta, which is multitasking, to alpha, which is single focus. And the way that you felt after only 10 breaths is the reward that you get from taking action. So by doing that, you're already moving, you're already in motion. And then from that motion, you can access the feeling of motivation to actually go and do whatever it is you want to do. So moving on, the next brainwave state is theta. And have you ever heard the term, how you go to sleep is how you wake up? Well, if you're one of these people, and I know that I was for a long time, that the last thing that I see before closing my eyes would have been my television or my computer or my phone screen. And that overstimulation reduces the amount of theta brainwave, which is the natural state that the mind accesses as it's drifting off to sleep. It's the doorway between the conscious and the unconscious. So cultivating a strong theta brainwave will actually help you to get into a better sleep and actually sleep better for the night. And so we're going to do a little bit of theta meditation, but moving on to delta, this is the healing mode. And so this is what I was talking about originally. For most of us, because we're not cultivating a quality theta brainwave during the day, it becomes difficult to actually achieve a delta brainwave state for a significant amount of time during sleep. Now, we know that we need to get into REM, rapid eye movement sleep, in order to access the deep healing capabilities of the body. If you catch a paper cut, does it not heal overnight? And when you wake up, there's a little scab, right? So our natural immune response, our natural ability to heal is empowered by a delta brainwave. And delta brainwaves are accessible in deep sleep. And the ability to get into deep sleep is a function of cultivating a quality theta brainwave. And so we can do this in the morning, afternoon, evening. Ideally, the more of this that we practice, the better sleep we'll get, and the more rejuvenated and refreshed we'll feel throughout the day. So let's get started with a little bit of that. What I'd like you to do is we're going to do a 12 breath check-in. And so just return to your inward focus, inhaling and exhaling naturally. And I'd like you to count 12 breaths. So inhaling 1 and exhaling. Inhaling 2 and exhaling. Inhaling 3 and continue all the way to 12. Okay. So, did you make it to 12? Or did you lose count along the way? And so counting breath is another technique that we use to build focus and integrity. Because if you cannot be honest with yourself as to what number you're on, imagine how that might show up in the world. And so if you lose count, that's okay. Just start over from 1. And there's 2 ways that we drift off. You might drift off on a daydream. You might have a thought that gets carried away and you lose track of your breath. Or you might drift off on a brain fart and you don't know where you are. When you remember that you're still breathing and you're still counting, just start over from 1. And 12 times 3 is 36. And 36 times 3 is 108. So the 12 breaths took about a minute, 2 minutes. 36 breaths will take around 3 to 5 minutes. And 108 breaths will take around 10 to 15 minutes. So this is a great way to begin building your practice. And what I'd like to do now is continue with another attempt. We're going to do 36 breaths, and let's see how that sits with you. And you can just begin and count to 36 at your own pace. Okay, welcome back. So who made it to 36? And that was only 3 minutes, but if you're feeling calm, wonderful, but if you're actually feeling more anxiety, more tension, then these are the reasons why we start working with various different coping mechanisms and relaxation techniques so that we can access a meditative state. Perhaps it's the discomfort of sitting in a meditative position. Perhaps it's a particular nagging thought that just wouldn't leave you alone, just relentlessly bothering you while you were trying to count your breath. Any of these are totally normal. They're always showing up, and they're very easy to manage. So what I'd like to do now is move to our final technique, and this will be a stand-up exercise. So I'm going to adjust my camera. Okay. So okay. Hello, everyone. All right. So as I had mentioned, when the internet went out, all of my connections went out with it. So my remote control that handles my switching, all of these things went down. So I appreciate your patience and your kindness in sticking with me. So what we're going to do now is a choreography to move the body to get into a meditative state. And this is known as the 5 elements to bring balance to the organs, to restore alignment within the body, and to bring harmony to the mind and the body and the spirit. And practicing this particular exercise, this particular choreography, will really help to establish and cultivate a quality theta brainwave so that tonight, when you sleep, you'll be more likely to access a deep delta brainwave and have a fully restorative and rejuvenating sleep so that when you wake up tomorrow, you'll feel refreshed and ready to go. You can begin by placing your feet shoulder width apart and sink into your shoulders and sink into your hips and allow your thighs to take the weight as if you're sitting on a high stool. So tucking your backside in a little bit, and you'll feel the weight in your thighs. If it goes into your knees, just ease up a little bit and then rock back and forth between your heels and the balls of your feet to find a sense of balance. And allow your head to feel as if it's floating away from your shoulders like a balloon on a string, and that your whole body is hanging loose like clothes on a hanger. Bring your palms in front of your navel and down by about 2 or 3 inches. Bringing your palms in front of your navel and down by about 2 or 3 inches. And center your awareness in the space between your palms. And as you inhale and exhale with your focus in the space between your palms, we're going to begin with the first element, which is water. The associated color is a bright sapphire blue that radiates from your kidneys. The season is winter, and the energy wants to descend. So if you can, imagine this sapphire blue light in between the palms of your hands, and then watching my motion, inhaling into the hips and up to the temples, and exhaling out and down as you sink into the thighs but not the knees. Inhaling in and up, and exhaling out and down. And see if you can check in with which muscles are being used to accommodate this movement. And perhaps you'll become aware of which areas of your lungs have opened to receive the air. And one more time, in and up, and out and down. And when you finish that cycle, return your hands to that place in front of your navel and down by about 2 or 3 inches. As you allow the descending water energy of your kidneys to run its course throughout your body. The second element is wood. The color is a bright emerald green radiating from your liver. The season is springtime, and the energy wants to thrust upwards. And so relax your wrists and scoop with your palms, lifting imaginary green light up to your temples, and then push down the front of your body, separating at the hips, and continue to press down the legs slightly, and then inhaling, lifting green light up, and exhaling, pressing green light down. And allow yourself a moment to check in with which muscles are activated to accommodate this movement. And which areas of your lungs have opened to receive air. One more time. And when you've completed that cycle, bring your palms facing sideways and parallel to the ground as you allow the thrusting upward energy of your liver to run its course throughout your body. The third element is fire. The color is a bright ruby red radiating from your heart. The energy wants to expand, and the season is early summer. Point your middle fingers towards the center of your chest without touching as you round your shoulders, tucking your chin, which looks like this. And then exhale, pushing ruby red light out at a 45-degree angle, opening your chest as you do so. Inhaling ruby red light into your heart, and exhaling, pushing that light out into the room. And see if you can push that light beyond the walls of your room and out into the neighborhood. And feel a reciprocal amount of energy coming back in as you push out further out into the city and the state and the country and the hemisphere, pulling a reciprocal amount of energy in and pushing all the way out to the horizon, surrounding the whole globe with ruby red light from your heart. Last time. And then return the palms to your sides with the palms facing the earth as you allow the ruby red light of your heart to run its course throughout your body. The fourth element is earth. The color is a beautiful golden topaz yellow radiating from your spleen. And while the big filter organ, the liver under the right side of your rib cage, sits there, your spleen and pancreas sit on the left side under your rib cage. The liver is responsible for filtering, and the spleen and pancreas are responsible for creating the building blocks, the nutrients that food that we ingest turns into. So bring the thumb and index fingers together and lift this pyramid directly up over the top of your head, exhaling out and inhaling as you bring that down over the top of your head, sinking into the thighs, and then exhale as you straighten, pushing golden yellow topaz light out into space. Inhaling golden yellow light into the body and exhaling, pushing it back out. Inhaling down and exhaling out. Looking straight up and feeling that lift in your diaphragm muscle that separates your belly from your ribs. And now for the second part. Inhale, center, and exhale as you twist to the left from the base of the spine all the way up to the top of your spine in the center of your skull. Inhaling center and exhaling to the right. See if you can twist just a little bit more. And any of these exercises can be done for as long as you'd like. We're just doing a little preview introduction today, but you could spend as much time in whichever movement feels good to you. And then bring the palms back to your sides. As you allow the golden yellow topaz light of your spleen to run its course throughout your body. The fifth element is metal. The fifth element is metal. And the fifth element is metal. And the energy wants to contract. The color is a beautiful, dazzling rainbow light, the combination of all of these other lights into a pure light radiating from your lungs. Bring the palms about 3 inches apart in the center of your chest and center your focus, inhaling and exhaling between your palms. And inhale the palms straight out to the sides, palms facing straight up, and exhale with a sound as you bring the palms back together. Inhaling out and exhaling to detoxify the lungs. And now relaxing your wrists, inhaling gently through the nose, making as little sound as possible to nourish the lungs with the palms facing forwards. And you may even become aware of a magnetic push-pull sensation. Sort of a thickness between your palms as you bring your palms together. Allowing the palms to relax at your sides. Imagine the sapphire blue light of your kidneys bouncing back and forth between the earth and your palms. And the emerald green light of your kidneys, the emerald green light of your liver bouncing back and forth between the earth and your palms. And the ruby red light of your heart bouncing back and forth. And the golden yellow topaz light of your spleen bouncing back and forth. As you allow the dazzling rainbow light of your lungs to run its course throughout your body. And if you've become aware of a tingling sensation in your fingertips and your palms, you can allow that tingle to travel up your arms and over your shoulders and down into your chest. You can rub your palms together and place your palms on your cheeks and your fingertips on your forehead. And just allow your mind to receive this loving energy that you cultivated during the 5 elements practice. And whatever little circles, little movements your palms and fingers might make are correct. And you can bring this energy down to your heart and allow your heart to receive this loving energy that we cultivated during the 5 elements practice. And finally, storing any remaining energy down in the seat of your abdomen, in the furnace, the fire in your belly. Like a big battery, allow it to collect all the remaining energy to store for later. And so you can wiggle your fingers and toes. You can tap on your body a little bit. Come on back into your body, feeling your feet on the ground. And welcome back. So, Anne, if you're still with me, I'd just like to thank you for allowing me this time to share this knowledge and these practices. And if you're interested, if anybody's interested in joining my weekly meditation group, it's going to start up again on Wednesday, May 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's 10 a.m. Pacific. For those of you who can make it, you can RSVP. You can sign up at relaxwithadam.com/RSVP.
Thank you so much, Adam. And I have the link to register in the chat. And it was definitely very diverse practices. And I love the connection to the brain wavelength. And I think it's very important for people to further educate themselves on those brain wavelengths because they're such significance to our health and to our moods. That having that understanding and then linking it back to the proper breathing method and the proper meditation method is key. And if you can access that, if in sleep you get into that delta wavelength, the benefits are just tremendous, and it's not a given. So I like how you have practices to get you to get that access in the evening time. So that ties back to the session that we had on sleep. So people, as you're watching these sessions, you can see how they're all correlated, because it's our body. Our body, everything is connected, and your job is to align it, which meditation is a great and amazing, incredible way of doing that. So thank you so much for that. I really truly appreciate it. And it definitely got me. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. Yeah. I need to do some breathing, get myself pumped back up. I'm in a very relaxed mode right now. So.
Well, generally a theta brainwave will wear off after about maybe 15, 20 minutes. So this is a good time to, and I know you're running a summit right now. So, but for those of you who are not running a summit, this is a great time to trust in this. Is so something that we didn't cover, but we can cover in my weekly meditation group. This is a way of building trust and reliability, because your body knows, and your body will take care of you. So if you're feeling great right now, let your body tell you what it's been waiting. Let your primary relationship flourish. That moment you can have with yourself, and see what's inside. See what you've been waiting to tell yourself. And I'm here to help with whatever. If it's uncomfortable in any way, and sometimes it is, that's okay. I'm here to help. And as are all the great practitioners that Anne has so wonderfully curated for us. I mean, everybody today has been so awesome, and I can't wait to check in with everybody that's coming after me. There's still more at the Health First Summit. So don't go anywhere. Let's dive into the next. Let's dive into the next one.
Adam.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we have one left, and I want to point out that in Adam's meditation, at no point was he forcing you to quiet your mind. It's just let it happen. Don't put pressure on yourself. Let it take place. I love it. I certainly I didn't get to 36. I had to start over again. And I'm like, well, we're going to run out of time. But, I completely understand that's something that I've definitely picked up from this session. Is to, my tendency would have been to just guess and keep going. So I will now start over.
Honest, so we covered a lot today. We covered how to access single focus mode. We covered how to build honesty and integrity with oneself. We covered how to cultivate a theta brainwave so that we can actually get quality delta brainwaves during sleep, and we touched on at the end here reliability and trust within oneself. So these are so many things we just scratched the surface of. Imagine what isn't included in an hour's practice, right?
So definitely register for Adam. Register for his weekly session, join him, get into the practice. It's a little bit of your resources to apply to get tremendous benefit. And if nothing else, you didn't watch it, go back to Nick Littlehale's about sleep and how powerful that is. So, if all you do is get to constant good night's sleep.
If all you do is sleep well, everything else, oh my God.
Yep. Yes, indeed. All right, Adam. So thank you. We are going to get into some memory training now in our last session of the day. So namaste. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.